huge welcome to everybody. My name is Palie Smart and I'm the Associate Pro-Vice Chancellor for Global Civic Engagement. And I'm here today really just to welcome you on behalf of our Vice Chancellor and their senior team. And I was going to say that let's begin by thanking people like Jean and Kate and Patty and Dan, who have really picked up the baton to develop organisations like the JGI, which interface, of course, with other research institutes in the university that are also working on or in and around this field of data science and AI. So, thinking about what I might say today to potentially a room full of people, half of you will be very excited about the future of AI, and half of you are likely to be a little bit worried about the future of AI and data science. And also recognizing that I'm Generation Z, thankfully not a boomer, and that there will be Generation Y and Z in the room that have different attitudes towards this, and we'll soon know what Generation Alpha think when we start seeing their applications next year. So I thought I'd just spend a little bit of time talking about how I feel about this whole, these developments over the last 30 years around AI and data science. And I'm really excited about it, and I'm a little bit frustrated that I can't be here for the rest of the day because I've got to go off and do other things. And if I could have my time again, I would love to sit amongst you guys in the audience today and debate some of these really exciting topics. And to use Barbie's expression, think of it as a spa day for your brain. Really use your imagination today and think, about expanding mind expansion conversations, which I'm sure will take place. So the Jean Golding Institute, we know, is a hub for those interested in AI and data science. And when thinking about or envisioning the future, I'm naturally going to look to the past. And I started my MSc nearly 30 years ago, and it was an MSc in computer integrated manufacturing, computer integrated science. And in those days, we talked about expert systems. We didn't talk about AI, although some people did, but the language was very much around expert systems. And we talked about computer-aided engineering and computer-aided design. And I remember my MSc project was one of the first projects where we actually developed a product in real time across countries and delivered it. It's a very simple product, but the fact that we could do that 30 years ago is quite interesting. So I have to say that I am really quite excited about what might come. And conversations about what the future could be and might be and what's just around the corner have always been there. And there'll be populations that feel that the most advanced artificial intelligence is literally around the corner, and then the others sort of say, well, no, I don't think so. It'll be years, it'll be good 5 years. And I'm sure that most of you appreciate views of those that are really investing energy and time in this particular industry, the likes of Elon Musk, of course, and Mark Zuckerberg and Tesla and Google. They're all thinking about what this territory will look like. And you have the same opportunity today, is to think about that, but also to feed into that as well. And what I would say from my own experience and my own research in innovation is that things tend to be evolutionary. Things tend not to happen overnight. It might seem like that to some people, but actually things do take time. So we have time, but we also have collective agency. This is an incredible technology, and indeed the pace of change is certainly ramping up. But I think when you have organisations like the GGI and a room full of people from different areas and walks of life coming together to talk about the application of these technologies, that is exactly what's needed, because these technologies have all kinds of implications. And in fact, if you look across at the back of the room, you can see that this technology can be used for good, for social and civic purposes, but also for technological change and creating new jobs and driving a new kind of economy. So, evolutionarily, I would say. I'd also say that by engaging different kinds of people, we are over time democratizing this kind of innovation. And that really blurs the boundaries between who are the experts, and it might not be the people in white lab coats in laboratories or sitting in universities, but it could be the Generation Alpha who are sitting in their bedrooms deciding what kind of code to write. Or it could be coming from those people that are really thinking about models and what kind of models will drive AI in the future. And I'm quite excited to see how open source and proprietary models might come together going forward. The other thing that I'm interested in is data. And we know, or some of us will know, that a lot of these models require really good data to run and to test those models. And we don't always have that kind of data. The data that we have is sometimes very standardized, or it's coming with a particular set of characteristics or demographics. So what do we do about that? How do we fill those data gaps? And so I'm quite excited about developments around synthetic data and whether that's an ethical approach to developing new data. And that, of course, leads to all kinds of risks. There are those existential risks, of course. Will it create the end of humanity? But then there is also real-time risks that we deal with today, which is what kind of jobs might this lead to? Will it eliminate some jobs? What kind of misinformation could this lead to? Can we trust the information that is coming out? Will it lead to toxic speech? And how will we deal with that, particularly in a university setting? So I think there are some real risks, and there are also some other existential risks, but these are things that we can look forward to debating. And talking about imagination, I'm sure some of us think about the likes of Boston Dynamics when we think about the future in 10, 20 years' time. So a bunch of us, when we retire, will we be retiring with little robots in our homes to help us around? I don't know. It's quite exciting to think about that idea. But we've had robots for a long time. Ever since I've been studying and working in industry, we've had robotics that have been, a part of sort of everyday life, particularly for certain kinds of organizations. And today, we now see environments where we talk about cobotic solutions, where robots are working very much alongside human beings, whereas in the past they worked behind closed doors and glass screens. So that cobotic environment is really interesting. But what will the future look like? We've always had robots on the shop floor that are delivering materials from A to B. We now talk about, well, how fast could those robots walk around environments that are in the same environment as us, So those sorts of things are becoming really important. Yesterday I was listening to a program and they're talking about 3 miles an hour is about as much as we would want to tolerate. Any robot that looked like it was some kind of humanoid style of robot. Anyway, so those are sort of my broad feelings and the things that I think about when I think about AI and how it might be used for good and for society. The final thing that I would say is, of course, this kind of world only exists because of certain materials and certain products and services. And there was a global survey done last year by Ipsos Mori that tried to do a sort of a pulse check on people's attitudes towards AI. And it was interesting to see that actually much was divided across about 34 countries that they surveyed. There was some people were divided on trust. Certainly younger populations felt that they could trust AI and these kind of data solutions a little bit more. There was quite a lot of lagging understanding around what kind of products and services AI might lead to, but some conception of what it could be. So I think that there is potential to move debates and really shape how we feel and think about AI as we go forward. And of course, that so much depends on how we use AI or how we misuse AI. And I want to say one final thing, being the social scientist in me would appeal to the social scientists because technology can be developed and we can develop materials that drive this industry. semiconductors, for example, but we know that semiconductors as supply chains are very, very vulnerable. And so we're also doing research at the University of Bristol, which is looking at the generation of new materials that may drive this kind of activity going forward. And then, of course, we've got nanocomputing as well. So, you know, it goes on, and there are linkages to all kinds of other areas of research that we're working on. So I think I will leave you just two final messages. Expand your imagination, use it well, and just remember, collectively, we have an awful lot of agency to drive the future path of this kind of technology. So have a wonderful day, and I'm sorry I can't join you a little later, but have fun.